Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta.
And as we always start our chats, in the spirit of love and kindness, we want to always listen to one another and be compassionate to one another.
Yes, we do. Thanks for the reminder every week. Don't forget. And thanks everyone for joining us for another one of our chats. We really, really appreciate you. We love you. Send you all our love.
Yes.
And don't forget, gonna do the same. You know the routine, right? If you're new, then we would love for you to hit the thumb icon. That means that you like our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos. Yep. All right. And today, what tea are we drinking? Tea of the day. It is a tea by Traditional Medicinals. Oh, got it back to...
There you go.
There it is. Organic Peppermint.
Yes.
And it says that it's herbs that work. From field to cup, we make sure our teas deliver the benefits of those amazing plants. To deliver consistent high quality teas, we source organically farmed or organically wild collected herbs from ethical trading partnerships, seeking out medicinal grade plants.
Yes.
Only a small fraction of the world's herb supplies meet our high quality standards.
Yes.
Okay, and the ingredients are organic peppermint leaf. That's it. One ingredient.
Yes.
And one ingredient only.
And today,
Yes.
we are actually infusing our tea with something very special, and that is Mike and Niki's honey.
Yay for Mike and Niki's
Yes.
honey.
And we purchased a variety pack, which you receive 10 different flavors. And of course, Rosetta being from Campbell, we're going to kick it off with the Campbell honey.
They come in these cute little bears,
Yes.
and on the top you see the name of where it's from. This is Campbell.
Yes.
There's also Mountain View.
Yes.
Fremont, different ones. What else? Saratoga, Sunnyvale.
Yes.
And we put a little bit inside our tea.
Yes.
So we're gonna try it out.
And see what it's like.
Yes. So cheers.
Cheers, my dear.
And they are local in Campbell.
Yes.
Mike and Niki's honey. Tastes a lot of peppermint.
Yeah.
Not too much honey. I think the reason being is not that the honey is not good. It's because I think we didn't put enough. We need to put a bit more in.
Yeah, we just put a little bit in just to taste it because, not realizing that it's good and raw honey, it needs to be warm.
Yes.
So it's a little cold. So it's like, I don't feel like moving.
But their honey is amazing because it's all local, and they actually, not only is it raw unfiltered, but they also have different kinds of honey. And there's a creamed honey, which I've purchased before.
Mm-hmm.
And creamed honey is thicker, and that's where you spread it on
Yes.
like toast or anything.
Yes. And I want to try the chocolate honey.
The chocolate honey.
Yes.
And I also purchased their turmeric honey, which is
Yes.
very good.
Yes. So my girl Niki sent me a little thank you card. So thank you, Niki, and we wish you much, much success with.
And
your
we'll put
honey.
all her information below if
Yes,
you're
we
local
will.
to the Bay Area.
You've got to try it. Okay. So how was your Halloween?
It was great. Yeah. I
Yeah.
went to an event in San Francisco Saturday night at the W Hotel
Cool.
with a few of my friends. We stayed overnight, and it was fun to say the least because I don't usually go to big, massive events. Maybe back
Right.
when I was much younger,
Right.
but I haven't gone in such a long time. And it was fun to be, having that Halloween spirit. So I went, and we all dressed up as different variations of witches.
Oh, cool.
Yes, so it was really fun. It was very nice to decide what kind of witch I was going to go as.
Cool.
And it was a lot of people. I must say there was a bit too many people. So we
Okay.
didn't stay until the entire time, the ending. So
Right.
we left and went upstairs
Okay.
to our room, which we had booked a room there, so we didn't have to drive anywhere. But it was
Nice.
fun, very fun.
Yeah. Mine was shocking, just from the standpoint of post-COVID. I used to go through 5, 6 of the large bags of candy from Costco. So I was complaining that I had to buy candy at all at $19. Well, you might as well say 50. I mean $20 because it's $19.95. So I bought the candy.
Wow.
I had one of my neighbor's granddaughter. She came down and she's like, "Tweak a tweed," and I was like, "Okay, I'm good." Because she was so happy.
Yeah.
And so I gave her some candy, and that was like at 6:30, and then we didn't get any more kids until 8:30, and that was 4 siblings, and that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Usually we get nobody, and this year, because my husband was at home, said, because I was working that night, my husband said, because he likes to deck out our porch.
Right.
He puts like music.
Right.
This year he actually brought TV on a stand out there playing Ghostbusters and the music and everything. He decked it out. We have our little scarecrow we put out front. Then he had a candy little bowl that he has, and he bought little hand that goes in the candy and lifts up and stuff. So, and we actually we have a camera outside,
right?
So he can see it from his phone. So he was showing me all these pictures of groups of people that had come. So we had probably about 3 or 4 groups of people that came by, which is more than any other year that I know of.
Yeah, my sister had 15, because she kept telling me only buy 1 bag of candy. No kids are coming. With the fentanyl scare and how they look like Sweet Tarts and Skittles and all that. So I just hope the tradition is going to come back, because our children deserve to be able to go trick-or-treating.
It's pretty much back, because downtown Campbell on Sunday had Creepy Crawly event. I didn't go to that. It was 4 to 6, and from what I saw, it was packed.
Good.
Packed.
Yeah, I think they're doing more events like that. That is definitely continuing. I just want the kids to be able to safely go through the neighborhoods.
Yeah, because it was safe, because they used to not close down the streets. Now they close down the streets so that people had access to all, instead of, keep watching out for the cars running them over and stuff. No
kidding. So, we always start out by talking about our thoughts and prayers go out to the world, because there's so much unrest going on. And, sometimes I stop and I ask myself, what causes a person to think that their existence, their thought, their process, whatever they want in the moment is more important than anything? And that was sadly demonstrated by a stampede in Korea, in which 151 individuals lost their lives. They're still investigating to find out what happened.
It was crazy. It was, like you said, South Korea. And what happened was, there was, I think from the pictures I saw, they kept showing a small alleyway, very narrow alleyway.
Yes.
And it says that a crowd of people were pushed into a narrow alleyway on Saturday, and that's what crushed a lot of the people that were in the middle, because there was no way for them to get out. And it was so sad, because you could see that there were so many families trying to look for their
loved ones,
and they said it was mainly young teens,
because
like
they were saying how it just felt like it was like a tumble. It's like it started and they could not stop.
Yeah, so there were 97 women and 56 men confirmed dead, and 133 were injured. There were probably like 20 or just over 20 more people that actually died that were not from the US. They were outside of the US and had gone to that event, and they tragically lost their lives as well. So we'll keep more updates as to exactly what happened, but it's really sad to see that this happening on such a festive occasion.
Very sad, very sad. Last week we were I guess it was almost like every hour you see the advertisement for 2020, and Matthew Perry tells his story only here on 2020. So I got to check it out, and I have to admit it, I didn't watch Friends. Now my baby sister, she watched it, she loves it, she can narrate it and all of that. And Matthew Perry played one of the key members of the Friends. And what happened is he talked about his weight fluctuation. And, see, when I see actors, getting curvy and thin and curvy and thin, I always think it's for a role. I remember when Matthew McConaughey, I mean, he was like anorexic.
He got so
skinny,
thin for a role.
Yes. But then he, came back to a normal size. So Matthew Perry says that in the filming of Friends, if he was, more chubby, it's because he was drinking alcohol. And when he was thin, it was because of pills. He used to take 45 pills a day.
What?
I mean, Vicodin, oxycodone. I'm just like, oh my God. And the other cast members of Friends, they knew something was up and they tried to approach him and he kept saying, I'm fine. And then, during the interview, he said, I wasn't fine. His weight ranged from 225 pounds at his height. And then he would, like one show, it would end, he would be 225. And then when they started the next season, he was down to 128.
Wow, that's drastic.
Very drastic. So, he the reason he did it was to get the word out about, addiction. And, it's like even the people that you see every day who you think you don't know. So it takes a pretty brave person to do that. And my hat's off to you, because you didn't have to put your whole life out there. He just wants people to know that there are alternatives, and he's clean and sober now, and he's just taking it day by day.
Well, that's good for him.
Yeah. So, while we've been stuck at home during COVID and all of this, they've been filming the second release of Avatar, which is called Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Been working on that for a long time.
And it's going to be released December 16th. And I saw Sigourney Weaver and Zoe, and they were talking about James Cameron, the director, wanted to make sure that it was as authentic as he could make it. They had to learn how to hold their breath underwater.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I bet you, yeah.
I think Zoe said she could do like 2.5 minutes, and Sigourney Weaver got up to over 6 minutes.
Wow. I'm so excited because it's been like 10 years since the last one, 10 or 11, I don't remember exactly how many years, but it's been a long time, and they keep talking about that.
Yes.
So now it's coming. We have, what is it? Today is the 2nd of November.
Yeah.
So just over a month.
Yeah.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah. So it's coming.
Exciting.
And I tell you, one of the things about the original was the colors. And I just cannot imagine the beauty that he's going to be able to capture underwater.
Can you imagine?
It's going to be gorgeous. So I'm all in.
I'm all in. Are you all in? Are you going to watch it?
Comment below. Let us know. So the FCC commissioner, his name is Brandon Carr, is raising the red flag again about TikTok. We've had lots of conversations here, because my thing is that if a country bans a tool like TikTok, it's illegal in China, why would any other country utilize the tool? Because if it was safe and secure, they would allow their kids to use it. So what happened is, he said that the FCC commissioner said that there is no way to protect private data. The company ByteDance is the owner of TikTok, and they put them, in a sort of like a court environment where they are drilling the CEO, and they're like, can you guarantee our data is protected? And she would say things like, we will protect the data to the level that we have to for the United States. Okay, that doesn't sound like, yes, it will be protected. So for all of you who love TikTok, just be careful. Anybody knows that if there's a will, there's a way. And if their intention is to backdoor into your phone, pad, whatever, if it's not secure, if it's not encrypted to the level of security for the United States of America, just be careful. Because of course people are like, my whole life is on there. I can't give up TikTok. I can't. And it's
well, that's a lot of people. That's how they make their career. They make money from that. Yeah. That's the only job they have.
Yeah. So other platform companies, come on, it's time to step up. I understand that TikTok is, is something that everyone does, and people love the fact that they can post almost anything on it. There's got to be other platforms that are secure in the United States that you can do. I know Instagram has started to do a lot of things to come up to the level of TikTok.
They have the equivalent of TikTok, which is Reels, that people can do.
Yes. So they're trying to help out. We just want you to be aware, because for the FCC commissioner to come out, that's a little scary, just a little bit. So, we always like to talk to you every week. Vote, vote, vote. I know that the midterms are next Tuesday. Can you believe they're here?
Right.
I know that there's lots of people who are going out in support of, candidate A or candidate B, etc. I want you to really pay attention to what's on the ballot. We're going to briefly go through some of the propositions that we are facing. And it's just for you to understand that it's better for you to do your own research. And please don't think one vote doesn't count. Say there's a room of 100 people and 40 of the people say my vote doesn't count. That's quite a substantial amount of individuals, and that's what's happening. Your vote does count. Your voice. I think it should almost be the point of, if you are a citizen of this country, it should be mandatory that you vote.
Exactly.
Because if you don't vote, then you're breaking the system. Why do you want to come to a country that gives you the ability to vote and then you don't vote?
And you don't know, because US is very big, or your
Right.
state is very big. You don't know if you're one of, let's say, 40 people that didn't vote,
Right.
or one of 60, let's say 52 people that didn't vote,
Right.
and the 2 votes counted.
Yes.
Those 2 votes tipped it over to the other side. You don't know. So it's
vote.
best just to vote.
Yes. I know that, there's a whole lot of situations about if the Democrats get control of the House and the Senate, President Biden is going to put into law a woman's choice. I know they just raised the interest rates again, another 0.75% today. I know it's hard. I'm going to start trying to think back of things that my grandmother talked about during the Great Depressions that they used to do. Like one thing I remember, they would buy 10-pound bags of potatoes and onions, and then they would chop them up and put them in bags and freeze them. They'll last forever. So those are things you can do. Buy in bulk, but have a way to store the bulk. It doesn't do you any good to buy it and to lose it. So inflation is going to come and go. Our opportunity right now, it's very critical, because the Supreme Court is in session right now, and they're already going after education, and making sure that they're like, well, I don't think race should have nothing to do with getting a good education. And it's like, okay, you need to go home and sit down, because that just doesn't make any sense. Because if you don't have the money or the name, it's very hard to just walk up and knock on the door of Harvard and say, let me in. It doesn't work that way. So we are going to have to make changes. So you have to vote, and you have to realize, when given the opportunity to make a difference, we have to vote. And I don't even live in Georgia, and I think Herschel Walker should go home and sit down. I don't live in Pennsylvania. I am so shocked that Dr. Oz is acting out so badly, treating a stroke patient the way he treated Fetterman. It just blows my mind. I always thought Dr. Oz was a good man.
I've always thought he was compassionate.
Yes.
Being a doctor, you would know more about these issues, symptoms of what happens after you have a stroke, and how long it takes to recover from it. And he should know, instead of saying what he said, he should actually be a bit more, he should actually be a bit more empathetic.
Yes. So let's kind of run through, we have some propositions here in Northern California that's on the ballot. Proposition 1 is reproductive freedom. That's it to me. I want a woman to have the freedom of choice. So I would vote yes for that.
Yes.
But that's the bottom line. That's what it's all about. A woman's right of choice. And Governor Newsom is trying to make sure that women in California can do this. Having right now in our state, we have young girls at 18 wanting to have surgical procedures that will prevent them from ever having a child, because they're afraid that if a condom breaks, that's the end of their life. That I mean, at 18, I mean, you could try something and you could go out and party and have a little too much, and your boyfriend and you say, okay, let's try it, and then you get pregnant one time. That should not guide your whole life. Okay, so we're yes on that one. Proposition 26 is expanding the gambling options in Northern California.
Yeah.
Right now, there are card centers that are all over the place, and then there are the casinos. And what they're trying to do, apparently these card places, some of them have been under investigation for money laundering.
So what are these card places? It like it's not like,
Like
Bay
Bay
101.
101.
That's
Yes, ma'am.
they call that card center. Okay.
Yes, so like Bay 101 and then Matrix. You know, because there it's only cards. You can't play slot machines or tables or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
So that's the distinction of the two. And what they want to do is fix it so that they can do more of the cards throughout. And here, I think we got enough. And a brand new one just came up somewhere outside of the Tracy area off of Highway 99. Another new casino, 25 restaurants. I mean, it's big. I think we have enough. You know, I'm not trying to stop anybody's good or their flow. I just think that if there is a situation that's being funded by the people who want it the most, that should make us all stop and think. So I hope you'll look into it and make up your mind on that one. Proposition 28. Now this one is a little different. This is for art and music for K through 12 education. So when you hear that, you're like, oh, of course,
Of
yes.
course you want that.
Yes.
Right.
But then it says so what it says is this will provide additional funding for art and music education for all K through 12 public schools, including charter schools, by annually allocating from the state general fund an amount equaling 1% of the required state and local funding to public schools. Okay, so now I got a problem. On one hand, you're talking about general fund to help public schools, which drastically need the help. But then it says in charter schools. Charter schools are charging the parents. They don't need any more money. Our public schools need the money. So this one, I think we have to do a little bit more research, because you don't want to, because normally what happens in the real world, if charter schools are a part of the pot, they somehow bubble to the top.
But I think that there are some charter schools, from what I recall, when my son was going to elementary school, that it's free.
Right.
It's
right.
So, yeah.
Yes. And if it's free, then they should be part of the pot. But I know that when President 45 put that woman in charge of education, she did a lot of things to massage it was almost, well, what she did is they felt it was better to close public schools and to open up more charter schools. And a lot of those charter schools, there were types of financial requirements. So that one, you know, I have till next Tuesday. I haven't made up my mind yet, so I'm going to continue to research.
We'll look into that some more.
Proposition 29. This is for dialysis clinics, and my understanding, the reason that it's back on the ballot, is that it will require licensed medical professionals at the dialysis clinic centers, and it will establish state requirement initiatives for nurse, practitioners, physician
assistants, nurses,
yes, to be there with at least 6 months of relative experience on site during the treatment of outpatient kidney dialysis. So my question is, who does it today? The clerk, the front lobby receptionist? Because I'm thinking to myself, I mean, here in California, it's almost like one every 3 to 4 blocks you'll see dialysis center. So this one also is going to require a little bit more research, because while people need dialysis in order to maintain their life, we have to figure out how to make sure that it's safe. The way they're getting it, it's in a clean environment. My sister's husband, before he passed away, he was going in for cancer treatments at Kaiser. And at Kaiser, they had a section that had for cancer, and dialysis were on the other side. But these were professional nurses and doctors who oversaw this. So I don't understand. And the people who are paying for this, when it says specially funded by, is the dialysis centers that we see.
Yeah, they're funded by that. This is a hard one because there's pros and cons. Because if you say you want Prop 29 to go into effect, yes, you're going to bring up the cost for the clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Cost is going to go way up. But then there's other things where they want in place, which I agree with. Like they have to report. It says here, I put this down because I didn't quite. It requires clinics to give patients a list of all physicians who own at least 5 clinics. Requires clinics to report dialysis-related infections every 3 months, and these must be posted to the California Department Health website. If they fail to do so or have an inaccurate report, they may be fined up to $100,000.
Right.
Requires all clinics to offer. Clinics to offer the same quality of care to all patients. Cannot deny care depending on who pays for the treatment, like if it's private, insurance, Medicare, Medi-Cal.
Right.
So there are some pluses to putting this in place. It's just the people that are against it are the ones that own these clinics, because then the cost goes up, and they will have to close their clinics.
But the thing is once again, they now want reports. How do you allow a dialysis center to be in business where it doesn't sound like they were being regulated, and now they're going to regulate them by making them produce reports? And it just makes me a little concerned, because there's a lot of people on dialysis.
There is a lot of people, and when you go on dialysis, you know this because you've told me you have a relative that goes. It's not just once a month. It's like three times a week, and each dialysis, because you're taking out. They take it out, the blood, and then they clean it, and then they put it back. So it's at least a 5 or 6 hour thing, isn't it?
Well, it's at least 3 hours.
Oh, 3 hours. Okay, so it's 3 hours. It takes a long time.
And the new thing they're doing now, which is a little scary, because they tried to do this with my mom, and they were like, you can do it at home. Her home environment is not sanitized like I think a hospital environment should be. They're taking the fluid out of your body, and then they're replenishing.
They're purifying it.
Yes, and then they're. No, and at home it is about 5 hours. In the clinics it's about 3.
Oh,
but if you have to do it at home, and if anything gets into those bags, those IV bags, and I'm like. And they put this shot in you, and then you have to put this little cap on it. So now you've got this thing that you walk around with, either in your arm. Sometimes they put a little higher, or your neck, like right here on your clavicle. It's a mess. I don't want to do anything to lessen critical care. I just think we need to do a little bit more research.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn, and we had this issue last time when this came about, because we were reading in depth on this one, and we're like, well, I actually like the fact that they have to report, and there has to be like a professional on site.
I do too, and that was what we said the last time that got us to vote the way that we did. So my biggest question is, why is it back?
Yeah, I don't understand.
We just voted for this. Why is it back on the docket?
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand. So you do some more research, and if you have any comments and feedback, put it below.
Please. We'd
like to hear it.
Proposition 30. Now this is a tax on income above $2 million. And supposedly the funding would go for zero emission vehicles and wildfire prevention.
Well, supposedly. That's what they say.
Yeah, supposedly. Now, the thing for me is this proposition would levy an additional 1.75% personal income tax on individual Californians or married couples that make more than $2 million a year. So the couple is $2 million a year, but all Californians would incur this 1.75%. Now, I knew something was up when I saw our governor on television saying this is not what they're saying it is. This is not going to do what you think.
It's not. Basically, what it's going to do is put the money, the taxes that we pay for this. It's going to go into the pockets of the people there, and it says it's going to go into the wealthy business owners' pockets.
Yeah.
So they make it seem like, oh, it's going to be for the environment and everything.
Yeah.
Because they want, by the year 2030, they want all rideshare business owners who are doing Lyft to convert to electric
cars. Yeah.
And they're saying that this is going to help the environment and everything.
This is going to give Lyft the money to buy the cars so that they will meet the requirements, and then they will.
Do you really think that they're going to give money towards that for every Lyft driver to?
No, Lyft people but that's what they're claiming.
Yeah,
this
so
is going to fund
it.
now. So this one we don't believe.
Because I like they do say that the taxpayers' monies is meant to be going for like schools and education, and these. I just feel that Lyft, if it's true, they're just falsely promising something that we don't think. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think they're going to deliver on it, and. We're already, as a Californian, we feel like we're being taxed within an inch of our life. That's why when other states start talking about poor pity me, and it's like, come to California. And for us to all of a sudden incur another 1.75% tax on top of where we already are, that is too much, I think. I think, especially with inflation and everything that's going on right now, Californians do not need any more taxes. Not right now.
I can't even talk because I'm just we have
appalled.
too many. I'm appalled. The amount of taxes we have is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, and it doesn't help that we have this inflation going on. So
yes, doesn't
people want to squeeze every single cent we have from California just because we're in California.
Yeah, it's not fair.
No, it's not.
So the last one we're going to talk about is Proposition 31, and this one was real easy for me. Proposition 31, the question is, should California ban flavored tobacco products? Yes.
Of course why wouldn't they?
Yes.
What would there be a doubt why you would not vote? Yes.
But they're saying, oh, no. And I'm sure the tobacco companies are paying for this. We don't market to children. What grown adult is going to go into the store and say, I'd like a pack of bubblegum cigarettes? We're going to want to know what's wrong with you. So if you have bubblegum or green apple or strawberry, or pineapple, or watermelon, okay, let's just be honest. You are doing this because I was watching one of those commercials and the two little girls are in the bedroom.
Yes.
And she takes the USB and starts smoking it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, because the younger they start, because they know that with the ingredients, there's the potential of eliminating a person's life. The younger they start, the longer they keep them as a customer. That one was an easy no for me.
Yeah,
It should be banned, and banned.
Yeah.
So that was just to give you a little bit of insight. We hope that you will go out and vote. It's real important. I mean, I know you don't think your vote matters. It does. Because as a woman, I want all Americans to vote to make sure that we have people in office who are going to protect us all. And right now, that means all of the people. I mean, I think they said there's 134 individuals on ballots throughout the United States that have openly said that the 2020 election was stolen. We don't need people like that. I don't know about you. I don't want anybody lying to me. Even if it's bad news, tell me. I prefer the truth than for someone to lie to me. So here's an opportunity for us to let our elected officials know, if we catch you lying, we're going to send your ass home. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So last week we talked a little bit about Nancy Pelosi's husband being attacked.
Yeah.
So now we know the person that did it, his name is David DePope. He used, he took a hammer to Nancy Pelosi's husband. And when the police first arrived, they saw two men with a hammer. And by the grace of God, they didn't shoot. I'm grateful for that. And they took the hammer from him, but before they got it, he had hurt him pretty bad. I believe, based on rankings, we have president, vice president, speaker of the House. Her property should be guarded just like
exactly.
The president. Here we are spending money for President 45. I mean, if he goes to the golf course, he has Secret Service. I mean, no matter where he goes. So I think, especially if things come down to it, yes, you should get something after service, but I don't think we should do more for you than we do for the standing participants.
Right.
So that's something that was a little sad. He was arrested, and of course he's filing charges that he wasn't guilty, even though they found him in the house beating him. On the cameras, they have recordings of him saying, "Where's Nancy?" Same thing they did on January 6th. They were walking through the hall saying, "Where's Nancy?" That's how we know that this is politically driven. So, we have this whole situation where Elon Musk finally took over control of Twitter. He has ousted the CEO, the CFO, and the lawyer. He's also ousted the people who were on the board of directors. His handle is Chief Twit, and I think you deserve that name. So that's good. You keep that.
Because twit, what that means in England is an idiot. You're a twit.
Yeah.
So does he know that? Does he know that he called himself Chief Twit?
Yeah, Chief Idiot.
He did that on purpose?
Or did he not? So
he said, I think he did twit because it's short for Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't know that if you go to England, you say you're a twit, that means yes. That's not a positive thing.
So, there's all of this conspiracy theory, So some person tweeted that all of that was a lie, and it was to hide some type of homosexual affair that was going on inside of Nancy's house, okay? So Chief Twit sent it out to his 112 million followers. And then people started crawling up his butt because it's like, no, look. Because they all said it was fake. It never happened. Then we see the police. We see, the activities of the house. All the cameras in the neighborhood picked up everything. So he took the Twitter down. I just believe too much is given, much is expected. I think all this rhetoric, that woman is off working on our behalf and her husband is attacked. And she's just trying to be a good wife and get home to her husband. That was despicable. I'm just speechless. Unbelievable. So let's lighten it up a little bit. Let's talk about your favorite gig, Bachelor in Paradise.
Not my favorite gig.
No.
It's just
one
of the ones I've been watching.
Well, we said we weren't going to watch anymore, but we did.
Yes, we want. I said that as well. I'm not going to watch it. We were just going to watch the finale and the tell-all, and at the end, who got with who. But we ended up watching it again this week. Because
a friend of mine called me and she said, oh my God, they're blowing up the couples. So I had to look at it to see. I'm so happy that Brandon and his girl are hanging.
They're hanging. Did you see that the preview for next week, they're both crying?
Yes.
So I'm wondering what that is. We don't know yet, because usually you can tell what's happening if they show a preview. This time we don't know, because they make you see what they want you to believe.
Well, because they wanted to drag you in.
Right.
Like, I never would have thought that Rodney and Elijah would be going through all of this. I understand you want a man to fight for you. And he said to her, I don't want you to go on the date. And then he goes, but I understand if you want to. We're here to find our person. And so she gets offended, goes on a date with the slummiest slum of slum, Justin, and then they're laying on a bed kissing. And I'm like, how did we get here?
I don't know the love triangle. It's very, very odd.
And then what's the other one? Aaron and Genevieve.
Genevieve, they're hot and cold, and they're arguing, and then at the end they get back together, so we're not really sure what their relationship is.
Now next week, because next week will be the rose ceremony, and that's when the girls have the roses. And a friend of mine, she's way into this, so sometimes I call her and I go, give me the top 10 so that I can talk to my girl. and she'll say, no, you need to watch this part or this part. I always record it so I can watch it. And she said that she thinks that Elijah's going to wake. She said it like this. She goes, I think Elijah's going to wake up and come to her senses and realize Rodney is a much better man. We shall see. We don't know yet.
We shall see. We don't know. And this week, 2 young twins came in.
Oh my God.
And they
picked the 2 oldest women.
Shanae, and who was the other girl they picked? I forget the name of the girl.
I know.
She's an older girl, and they picked Shanae, and they went just to go because they wanted to see how it was going to turn out, and they actually had a really good time.
Yeah, Shanae was like, she goes, call me cougar.
So we'll have to see, because they didn't show them coming back from their double date, so we don't know what they're going to say, and if the 2 girls are into them. But I don't know, these boys are young.
And they act, I mean, like they let them roll them up in like, they look like they were making tacos, human tacos.
Yeah, well, how old are they? 23, 24?
No, they're twins. They're the same age. They're 23.
No, but they're 20. I wasn't sure if they're
what age
they were. 23.
They're 23. They're
23.
babies.
So I don't know. If I'm 30, I cannot. That's too young for me.
Because you have to have a conversation.
The mindset is different. They're in a totally different stage of their life. And I don't know about the interests and everything.
Yeah.
And so we'll have to see what happens. What else was there? There wasn't, besides that, who else was there? No, they didn't show much of Victoria, because Victoria's trying to console Genevieve, right?
Yes. Well, Victoria, remember, there was an issue because Victoria was like, I like Alex checks all my boxes.
Right,
blah,
but then
blah, blah.
she gave the rose
she went back to
Johnny. So Johnny,
and so, even though she kept saying on camera that Alex was her man when it came down to the rose, but then the kicker, some other girl gives Alex a rose. Why? Why are you keeping somebody that? So that's just to keep the pot stirred.
I don't know why she kept him.
It's to stir the pot.
Yeah, she kept him probably just because she didn't get along with anyone else. I have to give out a rose to someone.
So I might as well
I'll give it to him to give him a second
chance. And I'm sure the producer said, here she thinks everything's cool. It's just going to be her and Johnny. Let's just throw a rope into it.
They just do stuff. They want you to believe what you want to believe, and then they do stuff to stir the pot and just to make things more interesting. But half the time it's annoying.
Yes.
And that Jesse guy, the host, needs to go. We keep saying that.
So boring.
He needs to go.
There's empathy. There's no compassion. There's nothing coming out of him.
Every time he comes out, I'm like, I can't even.
It's like, what is he going to say now?
What stupid thing is he going to say now? Yeah, so, and I'm just still happy that Brendan and what's her name? Sari or something is still together, and some of the couples that I like I do like Genevieve and Aaron. So hopefully we'll see what happens, and tell us what you think. Who are your favorite couples? If you're watching,
and like Michael and Danielle, I think they're both boring, so it'll be interesting.
Well, Michael and Danielle is because they're older and they're at that stage of life where they don't need the drama.
Well,
they know what they want.
And they both lost their spouses, so they're. But I don't trust him after the way he sent my girl.
Oh, that was disappointing because he said I can never fall in love with someone.
Thank you.
And blah
and
blah
the
blah.
First girl walking down the steps, he's like, "Oh, it's you." I don't trust him. Sorry.
So I don't know. I mean, it seems to be going okay now. But if I was that gal, what's her name? Serena. Mm-hmm. Her name was Serena, who left. I would be pissed big time. Yeah. I'd be like,
I would tell them, you know what? I changed my mind. I want to come back.
She must have thought he's done me wrong. He did me wrong because he said this and this and this.
He said he would never do this. She
did so much for him, and she was, even though she hadn't lost a spouse, she's never been with a guy before. She was ready and willing to take on everything. The son,
his child,
him, everything. She did so much for him.
All the drama, she was there. She would do little special sweet things for him, and he didn't appreciate it.
No. So we'll see what happens.
So we'll keep you updated.
We keep being annoyed, and we keep saying we're not going to watch it. We keep watching it, but we don't know yet what's going to happen, and maybe we will, maybe we won't.
So remember last week, we shared with you about our governor is going after some of the local gas companies because Valero reported all companies are doing their It's either Q3 if it's a calendar year, or it's Q4 if it's a fiscal year ending September 30th. Everybody has to report their numbers. So, Governor Newsom found out that Valero had a 500% profit. So they went from the previous September, they had, what they did is they said, okay, between July and September, they made an additional $463 million for a whopping $3 billion quarter. That's with the B, okay? Phillips 66 jumped to $5.4 billion, which is a 1,243% increase over last year. BP, British Petroleum, posted $8.2 billion profit, its second highest on record, with $2.5 billion. I mean, these were with the B. Here we are trying to sit and figure out, okay, how do I move my schedule around so I can keep my job, not lose my job, and make it to work and still be able to afford the gas. And then Marathon Petroleum profits rose to $4.48 billion for a 545% increase over last year, which is an additional $694 million. I don't know how you people who own these companies go home at night and look at your family and talk about loving someone.
Well, they can do it because you can see them quite clearly doing it, and they have no qualms about doing it.
But how do you?
I don't know.
know?
We don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
They know because they're doing it quite easily. It's really quite sad and sickening.
It really is.
That this is. I just can't understand it.
I mean, we were always talking, and at one point we were talking about, like, in the past, like, one of the things, if say the price of gas got to be too high in California, they would drop the speed limit from 65 down to 55 to make you go slower. I don't know what would happen with the crazies on the road today. They can't even go 65 if they're not going 80, 90 miles an hour. I mean, it rained. I mean, it was coming down Tuesday. It rained really hard yesterday. And there were people sliding all over our freeways. The roads were flooded because we haven't had rain in so long. And I'm like, you are not a professional IndyCar driver. Slow down. And they don't even understand it. The slower you go, the better fuel efficiency you get. So there's no incentive for anyone to do anything but just keep raking in the money.
I don't get that. They're like driving like they've got, like they're in a rush for something.
Like they're going to an emergency. And then you'll see them pull into McDonald's to get a Happy Meal. And you're like, you almost caused an accident that would have killed thousands of people. You would have harmed people. I mean, I see at least a 3 to 5 car pileup every day. There are hundreds of accidents in the Bay Area every day.
Because we don't know how to drive in the rain, because we don't get rain that much.
Thank you.
People forget the rules of the road when it starts raining.
The first rain, all that oil, it rises to the top. It makes the roads very slick, so you have to slow down. Cars were hydroplaning. And because it was raining so hard, even with your windshield wipers going,
it doesn't work.
You can't see.
You still can't
You can't see, so you have to slow down. There were people who were like, I'm not slowing down. I'll just go around. There were people riding on the shoulder because they couldn't wait because of the backup.
Crazy.
So we're going to put the link. This is something I think every person who has ever watched our chat should take a look at and go, oh my God. Because inflation is not being caused by President Biden. Inflation is being caused by greedy corporations who are just sucking the money out of Americans' pockets right now. And that's what's sad. Instead of being the heroes and saying, you know what, times are rough, but I'm in this with you. Because my philosophy is when all of this is said and done, the companies that didn't gouge us to within an inch of their life, they will always have my business. The ones who are just trying to just take every 10 cents that we've got, I'm just going to let them go. So we'll put the link below. Last week we talked a little bit about, how we have this trifecta of COVID, RSV, and the flu. And one of the things Rosetta was telling me, because I know RSV is something that youth babies, toddlers get, and they usually don't get it though until like December, January timeframe.
Right.
So for it to be
Much earlier,
like 125% of capacity of seats and beds in hospitals are being taken up by parents and babies right now. And then I also heard it affects seniors.
I'm sure it does. Yes.
So it's the beginning of the life and near the end of the life. And, I'm no one to tell you what to do. You do what you want to do. Just try and be safe. If you have a baby, it blows my mind. You'll see a family and they're running around. They're all masked up and their babies are no mask. That would have been the first thing I would have bought. I would have been looking for, or I would have got myself some material and I would have made my baby a mask. You can't tell me that something that's detrimental to a human has no effect on the child. And that long haul COVID, there are people who are coming out now that says, I've had COVID symptoms for 2 years. 2 years. I was talking to a lady yesterday and she had COVID. And it's been like a few months. And she said she's just starting to get her taste because she can't smell and she can't taste.
It's crazy. I know. I've had people that said they've got still effects from the COVID and it's not going away.
Mm-mm.
And I'm pretty sure that more people have these, like what we call long haulers symptoms, but they're not saying anything.
Well,
there's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, every time I see a football game, or a baseball game, or a basketball game, and all these people are yelling, and I just keep thinking, and everyone tells me, oh, Gloria, they've improved the ventilation systems. Okay, now we're talking about, petroleum companies that are acting bad. Do you honestly think that if somebody says to themselves, we can say we do it, but we don't really have to do it? Because on one hand, it's good for the people, it's going to cost you a lot of money. On the other hand, well, how do you know you got it from me? How do you know you got it in my facility?
Right, exactly.
People acting badly. So, on our climate update, well, last week we had a 5.1 earthquake. And then this morning at 4:12 a.m., the same place, Epicenter in San Jose, had a 2.3 earthquake.
Oh, I didn't feel, well, I was sleeping, so I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, 4:12. And most of us were sleeping. I haven't heard of any, damage or anything like that. But, it just reminds us that, I always say Mother Nature, she's still around. So we all have to learn how to be better citizens of the earth. And talking about better citizens, we are very conscious about water usage in California. Things that we can do to lessen our impact, we always try and do. So I was looking for something completely different. I was doing my voter thing, and this little button came up, and I was like, what is that? I never hit the links, but I looked at what it said, and then I went back into Google and I did a search.
Right.
And it says the largest water wasters in the Bay Area.
Mm.
Most of them are located in Danville and in Alamo.
Oh, you know why? Because they're affluent.
Yes.
And they don't care about the waters. They don't care about the lack of.
Right. And initially I thought to myself, well, maybe these people own apartment buildings or condos or whatever. So I said, well, let me look a little bit further. So the developer from, CMO, the former Chevron vice chairman, George Kirkland, the former Safeway CEO, George Verde, okay? These are this is just four, are some of the top water wasters. So, as an example, George Kirkland, he used more than 5,200 gallons of water over the summer. Tom Simo from from Contra Costa County, 8,000 to 9,000 gallons of water a day.
What is he doing with that much?
That's my point. What are they doing with all this water? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't
So
know.
Tom Simo, Alamo, 9,138 gallons. And this was, they did a measurement as of mid-September. Christian Darcy, Alamo, 7,709 gallons. Muhammad Alam, Alamo, 7,583 gallons. I mean, the list goes on and on
This
and
is
on.
for how long of a period?
This is, that was their monthly use.
Their monthly use.
See, and to me, there's got to be more. And like I said, I was just dumbfounded. And I thought, we have to start talking about this because my lawn is green from the rain. The little, like if there's dew on the grass in the morning,
Yeah.
that little area where it gets less sun is green. The rest of it is yellow or dead.
Wow.
I haven't watered my grass in my front yard in years because we're going through a water shortage. So for these individuals to hop up and have this kind of water usage, it just doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. Beats me.
But we wanted to let you know that people in Alamo and people, they just think, I don't care. Danville. I mean, it's a very affluent area, very rich.
You're talking about Danville.
I mean, yeah, Danville.
is
Yeah,
very rich. Yes, it
Danville is very rich. I just think it's okay to be rich, but wouldn't it be better to be rich and still be a kind person?
Exactly.
Lottery is tonight, so everybody I know is buying lottery tickets.
Are you buying tickets?
Over. My husband, before I left the house, he's like, just get a couple.
I was thinking, and I'm like, no, I don't think I want to stop and buy
See,
any.
my thing is, if you win, do something positive with it.
Exactly.
And the last thing before we shut her down today, I just remembered, I'm the football girl. I love football. Well, Terry Bradshaw is from LSU, Louisiana State University. And he came out of college and he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a quarterback, number 12 for years. And he's been looking a little chubby on air. And I kept telling my husband, something's wrong with Terry. And he announced that he had cancer that was, he had a tumor. And they took that tumor out and they thought everything was good, but his neck was hurting. And they found more cancer.
Oh, no.
And it's serious because, he has that Bradshaw show.
Yes.
He's getting ready to sell his property. They're selling off all the horses. He said he's going to live every day like it's his last day.
Wow.
So our thoughts and prayers are with you. You are so funny and you're so full of joy. And my hope and prayer is that you're going to be okay. Because I love how you torture Michael Strahan every Sunday on the morning show before the football game. And just know that you are loved by a lot of people. And you have a wonderful wife, and I know she's got you. So we always feel the love in the room. We hope that we get to express how wonderful we feel being able to share time with you all. And we thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much. And we always like to say, and I haven't said this in a while, but we would like to ask if any of you watching out there makes teas, owns a tea shop, knows someone that makes teas, comment below.
Yes.
Because we would like to help promote your business if you have teas. As you know, I love the teas.
And now we got honey.
Now we have honey. It's Mike and Niki's honey.
Yes.
So if you have a shop, we'd like to come and visit. You never know. We could be doing a video from that very shop.
That's right. You
drinking
never know.
tea and never know, right?
Yes.
So put it in the comments below and we would love to feature you in a future chat. Thank you so much. Don't forget, everyone, please hit the thumb icon. Please consider subscribing to our channel and hit the bell notification. You'll be first to be notified when our videos are able to be viewed. We love it. Love it. And we are Silicon Valley Girls Chat over tea. And remember to always keep smiling. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.